Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Vancouver. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Brian David Marshall. We're underway here. The names are switched, but that is Shahar Shenhar on the left-hand side. He's playing against Colin Miller on, Shahar's on the right-hand side and Colin Miller's on the left. Shahar starts with a Cloudfin Raptor, but no follow-up play at all.
And there is young Pyro.
I like that. Nice two-drop here for Colin Miller. Colin Miller now in the mirror match, facing himself. So that young Pyromancer could be a big problem for Shahar Shenhar. It kind of depends on how his draw develops from here. Looks like a, a Thassa.
And to see how his draw develops from here, he has a Thassa now.
Yeah, look a little further.
Yeah.
All right, so big turn here for Colin. Let's see what he comes up with on his turn. He has multiple ways to remove creatures.
Yeah, he's just going to attack and play, I think, a Boros Reckoner here.
Okay, that seems like a very solid start for his deck.
Boros Reckoner, a sweet card to tussle with a Thassa. He's like, oh, you're going to block this?
Yeah.
All right.
Take some damage, sir.
Boros Reckoner says, I'm going down, but I'm taking your friend with me.
Yeah.
So we saw Shahar push his card, looking for something to turn on his Cloudfin Raptor, I guess.
I suppose so. I mean, it can block the young Pyromancer, or at least prevent it from attacking. He does have two main deck domestications. If he can find some lands, he can just steal it.
He has domestications, hybridizations, and riftifications.
One riftification.
One riftification.
Okay, a pair of Cloudfin Raptors. This is like the dream start for
Colin.
BDM and I's favorite draft deck, but this is not. Yeah, this is two unevolved Raptors. It's pretty dreamy for Colin.
Is maybe hybridize one of his Raptors.
Yeah, you know, you'd really hope that he'd have one other creature and he could hybridize that. Get a couple of evolves on his Raptors and get that train going, but killing one just to get one counter. 3/3 is good, though. He can use it to ambush the young Pyromancer if it decides to attack. The plan can go horribly awry, though, with burn spells from Colin Miller, so this is going to be kind of a touchy situation. At the same time, Shahar can't be happy to just start taking 5. He does have Rapid in his hand.
Tentatively goes,
yeah, he's like, what happens now?
You could also Rapid hybridize. Nope.
Yeah, not a creature, so he can't. Oh, you mean just hit one of his opponent's creatures?
You could just hit the Boros Reckoner.
Yeah,
right?
kind of fog it for a turn. Yeah, no, that's true. All right, but it happens. So he's going to get a 3/3 Frog Lizard token, and he's going to get to evolve his Cloudfin Raptor. So a reasonable turnaround here. He could even just block. No, of course he's not going to do that. He's going to throw the Lizard in front of the 2/1 and eat that. Take 3 from the Reckoner. He's kind of, at this point, he's just either got to find a domestication or just ignore the Reckoner and kind of just take the damage here. All right, there's a Chandra Pyromaster, though.
And he shoots.
And one more damage.
Yep, finishes off the Frog.
Right, that's really nice for Colin there, and he's going to start generating card advantage and potentially even pinging some of Shahar's threats out of the air.
All right, Shahar.
Shahar's drawing a Bident. He's also got a Night Veil Spectre and a Nykthos in hand, so he could have a big turn here. All right, evolve it up, and I think he's just going to have to...
Yep, and Thassa attacks Chandra.
All right, so that turns Thassa on just enough, 3, 4, 5 pips there, and Thassa gets to kill Chandra Pyromaster. So a nice swing there for Shahar Shenhar. His board looks pretty good now. Still facing down a pretty annoying Boros Reckoner, but he can just get unblockable and fly either over it or go right past it and try to make a race of it. I mean, ultimately, Boros Reckoner is still just a 3-power creature. It's not the biggest threat on its own as long as you can kind of dance around it, which Shahar certainly can here.
We're gonna see
is this a chained? Yeah, let's chain up Thassa, I would assume. He can also just take out one of the creatures to turn Thassa back into an enchantment. It's always that risky dance.
Well, you want to take Thassa, and then if he rapid hybridizes, well, I guess his Cloudfin Raptor wouldn't be. Maybe you just take down the
Spectre.
Night Veil Spectre.
You can. I mean, it sets him back 3 mana symbols towards Thassa. It's kind of the only thing that fills that role in the deck for Shahar. But man, you got to figure Thassa's going to get back online at some point,
right.
So he needs to have a pretty proactive plan to make this work. He can, though. I mean, he can attack for 5 here, so. All right, he does take the Spectre.
With Boros Reckoner too.
Yeah, and the Mutavault.
Yeah.
If he wants. And remember, this deck has a fair bit of burn to it as well. So bringing Shahar down to 9 means that he's potentially like 1 combat step away from being able to get into burn range here.
Plays a Scryland, pushes an undesired card to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. So this is a game for sure. Yeah, well, in a close game like this, the players get pretty picky about which cards they want to draw.
Oh, there's a Tidebinder Mage, though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good against Boros Reckoner.
Indeed, indeed.
For at least a little bit.
It does still put him 1 mana symbol away from that active Thassa.
Well, except
again.
he can play his Bident right now off of the Nykthos.
Ah, good point, BDM, and he does exactly that, and boom, Thassa's back on duty.
Oh, and then 2 cards.
Jeez. So this is going to be 7 damage and 2 draws. What a huge swing. Both of Shahar's last 2 turns have just been big shifts in his direction here. He is still sitting at 9, but he's safe from burn range currently. And he's really neutralized Colin Miller's threats completely here.
No.
Yeah, that's a force of habit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just muscle memory, right?
It is. All right, it looks like a grip of lands here for Colin as well. He does have at least a Scry land, and then is that 1 young Pyromancer, perhaps?
I think it's a Porphyros.
Oh, it's a Perforos, okay. Man, he's going to run out of time too quickly here, though. I mean, Shahar's got 9 power on the board himself, with Colin sitting at a lowly 11. A couple of turns away from death here, so he's got to make something happen really quickly. He does have he can attack with his Mutavault here and offer the trade with Tidebinder Mage to try to get his Boros Reckoner back next turn. If Shahar doesn't take the trade, he gets in for 2 and drops him to 7, but it still feels like that's going to just be a tough sell. Yeah, it looks like it's Perforos. All right, Perforos, God of the Forge.
Not active at the moment, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right?
Where's your...
Yeah, there's a rocks, Chain of the Rocks down there too.
That's a white pip, right?
Oh, it's only white. Sorry,
yeah,
you're right. Yep,
you're getting ahead of us.
I am. 1, 2, 3, 4. So no, not active yet.
It's also not active if he had Heliod in play.
True.
It would be active if he had
Heliod would be.
Yeah, Heliod would be.
All right, so draw step here for Shahar. It's like a second Tidebinder Mage in hand here. But since Perforos is not active, doesn't really have any target for it right now. Guess he could.
Does he have enough mana to activate Mutavault? No, it doesn't.
Make like everything unblockable? It is possible. That would be 11.
I think he does. I think he has 8 mana left over after activating the Mutavault. I mean, whether or not he's willing to do that.
Yeah, he is. He is looking at a potential burn spell here. I guess you just target the Reckoner again, then.
Yeah, you get a free blue off that. It's still 8 mana.
Right.
Or 9. Or
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So he needs 1 more, right? That's 8. He can make 1, 2, 3, 4 things unblockable, but the Mutavault's not active right now.
He's got
okay, he can play his land then. Okay. So unblockable, unblockable. He doesn't need to make the Cloudfin Raptor unblockable anyway. So yeah, he didn't even need that extra mana.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So there we go. This should be the game. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're doing a quick count on his mana here.
I think it all works.
So what they're trying to figure out is if he had already played a land this turn or not.
I don't believe so. I believe he played the Mutavault last turn as his 6th land.
Okay.
But
you were on the play.
It looks like we're going to get our answer pretty shortly here.
So you have last turn I had 1 card in hand.
All right, so they're doing the dance where they talk about what I heard last turn. And, so they're figuring it out, though. I don't know that he even needs it. He made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra mana. That puts him at 5, and he goes unblockable, unblockable, and then use that land.
Oh, this game is. And the turn I drew 2 cards, I played a mutable for turn.
So Shahar's saying what you said.
yeah,
Which is that he played the Mutavault the turn he drew the 2 cards.
5 draws. My 7th turn because I have 7 lands.
yeah. The Mutavault, he
So
definitely.
discounting these 2 from assuming they were drawn from 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you can convince me of anything either way. Ultimately,
So it is your 7th turn. And if you have not
I felt like Mutavault was land number 6.
Yeah, you kind of these animated. These are all blockable. Thank you for.
Meanwhile, die.
Yes. Big hit here, again, thanks to Thassa. And that's going to do it. So Shahar Shenhar wraps it up and picks up game 1 with a sigh of relief there. Colin had a pretty dang reasonable draw there,
Yeah,
but
it kind of seemed to peter out a little bit.
it did. I mean, when he played the Chandra Pyromaster, finished off the token, and was looking at a pretty nice board state, and then boom, everything swung back in the other direction when Thassa got active, killed Chandra, and that followed up into the next turn with Shahar, another huge swing. So there's Shahar. You can take a look, and here's Shahar again, right above his name.
Platinum Pro, the world champion.
Yeah, he's a world champ.
Already 34 pro points.
Yeah, he's
for the
12 years
season.
old, so
Yeah.
it's an impressive feat.
He's also 12 feet tall.
He is.
He's physically and chronologically square.
He is for 1 year. No, Shahar's
getting taller.
19 or 20. I don't know
I
if
think
he's
he's
had a
20 years old
birthday
now,
since.
yeah.
Yeah, but
He does not have a Pro Tour top 8 yet in his career.
Not yet.
So he's really like at the top of that list of players who are notable for just like being dominant players, but he still doesn't have that Pro Tour top 8. He does have a World Championship win, though.
yeah, which isn't quite the same thing.
It's
it
not
has
a
its
Pro Tour.
own prestige,
Yeah.
but it's not the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing.
But 5 Grand Prix top 8s, 3 wins.
Yeah.
On his way towards another one. Take a look at our tables here, see where things are going. All the matches have moved along a little bit. About a third of the way through all the matches.
Right.
Alexander Hayne, Canadian hero. 1 game away from locking up a top 8
That's right.
for Canada.
John Stern still fighting the fight over there. He was X2 after last round.
Robert Smith also, I believe,
He won. He is Canadian, and he won. He won GP Seattle. That's the first event I ever did. I did it with you, and he won.
Yeah,
it. Yep.
these guys need to win and win again. Because they already have the draw, him and William Huey Jensen.
Yeah, they're walking the tough road here. Looks like Huey's up 1 game. Robert's on mono blue. Huey's on his blue-white list, and he's been playing mono blue for this whole standard, playing against mono blue for this whole standard stretch. So he knows the matchup inside and out better than probably anybody.
And then Eugene Huang and Neil Oliver, the Grand Prix Las Vegas winner, is down a game.
Interesting.
Pretty good quality
Huey beat Neil Oliver in the finals of Grand Prix Oakland.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Last year, so a lot of Grand Prix success down in the feature match area right now.
Anything weird going on in Shahar's sideboard?
Let's take a look here. Nope, not weird. Nope, that's not weird. There's one interesting card. He's got a Curse of the Swine. He also has a second Cyclonic Rift, and those cards work nicely together. You know, you can curse, block, whatever. He's got a lot of ways to work that. I don't know if it comes in here.
Looking at the list from Colin, he's got some interesting cards in there. He's got a peak eruption in his sideboard.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
For the mirror?
I guess that's for the mirror, so you can hit it.
Blows up the chain
hit
of the
something
rocks?
with some chains on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's got an extra chain to the rocks. He's got a couple wear and tears.
Does he have any more just burn spells? Like just
Not. He's got
removal?
like another War Leader's Helix.
Okay,
He's got
that's
2 Anger of the Gods.
okay. Okay, Anger of the Gods. That's a thing here.
Yeah.
That's gonna do work.
He could also go the opposite direction and just go more beatdown and bring in 4 Fire Drinker Satyrs.
Oh, really?
I don't know that he does that here.
He might. He very well may.
Thinks maybe Shahar gets a little more control-y somehow.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Maybe he brings in the Fire Drinker Satyrs and the Anger of the Gods.
I doubt that.
No?
It's possible. I doubt that.
It requires a
I
Conley
take
level
9.
of daring.
Yeah, that's it. Though, we did see yesterday in the feature match area some interesting sideboard, philosophy changes. We saw, I think it was Alexander Hayne brought in Soldier of the Pantheon, 4 of them out of his
Really?
control deck.
Interesting.
Yeah, against the other control deck, because they take out all their
Right.
Supreme Verdicts and stuff.
Right.
And since it has protection from multicolor, they can't get it with the tension
can't
sphere.
detention
They can't
sphere,
Azorius charm it. Yeah, so it actually gets in for a bunch of damage. And then if there's a game 3, it gets real interesting because then it's the dance.
Right. 2 soldiers.
Yeah,
1.
and he had 4. I
Yeah.
mean, he was like, "Look, this is our plan post board is just to beat you down."
Fire Drinker Satyr comes with no upside in this situation.
That's true. Anger of the Gods does seem really good, though.
Yeah.
For the most part, Colin Miller's cards are pretty resilient.
Right.
And he plays Phoenix, which Chandra's Phoenix, which you can just get it back. He can pull out some number of young Pyromancers or Boros Reckoners if he wants to go at that route, so that doesn't have too much of a liability. Chandra Pyromaster seems really good against Shahar's deck. It can pick off annoying things like Judge's Familiars.
Yeah, I mean that was a huge swing from Shahar where he got to kill that.
Yeah, it was. And that was going to fuel the rest of the game for Colin.
It's gonna be weird to see what happens to the gods once the previous block with its triple
Yes.
spells, it's hybrid
Yeah.
mana spells, rotates out.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to look back on
return to
this as
Ravnica
remember
goes
when
away.
we just played gods all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
or or if we're going to be playing
Both the
it for
mono
the
blue
duration.
deck and the mono black deck, when whatever the next block is comes out, will lose Night Veil Spectre.
Right.
Which is a big hit.
Yeah, and there's also Boros Reckoner here that we just mentioned. It
Yeah.
serves a similar role in this list. It's a huge hit. I don't think you can make that deck that way without it.
Right. And Rubble Belt Raiders is just going to sit there grumbling the whole time.
Put me in,
One
coach.
lousy colorless mana and you won't play me. One lousy colorless. Did you see what I do?
Yeah.
Just give me a shot.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Sideboard me. Something.
All right, here we are, underway for game 2. We're in round 14. Finishing, we're getting towards the end of the Swiss rounds here, so these are absolutely important matches.
Well, this is
This one's a
win and you should be in.
So Shahar Shenhar up a game, looking to make his 10,000th Grand Prix top 8
Be his 6th Grand Prix top 8 in his career.
in his relatively short career.
Yeah. Here comes
Okay,
the Pyro.
there's young Pyromancer, so that's a good start for Colin. He wasn't able to really capitalize
Well, he
on
just
it
didn't draw
last
any
time.
burn.
No,
right?
he
Like,
didn't. He didn't draw any, and any burn in that previous game would have been very nice. He has a Mizium Mortars in hand. But he's got a Magma Jet. Announces his trigger. And rapid hybridization means that it's going to be an upgrade for Shahar, but the trigger still happens because it just happens when you cast.
Right. You don't get to
Instant or
scry,
sorcery.
but
He will not get to scry, which is sad. But a 3-3 is actually quite big in this situation. It's going to hold off Colin for quite a while. They're making sure to get the correct token.
Sure.
They're elementals, yeah.
No, I can't use that one. Okay, Judge.
They're also red.
You guys are such sticklers.
I'm a token stickler, man. I don't want that
Is he not
centaur
getting
token
a
in there.
token?
I want a fish. I want a frog mutant, frog lizard token. Yeah, I'm sure the judge is still just digging
Put a
for it.
sleeve into play. Come on.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I think Shahar was like, well, can we keep playing Magic? Or
You should use that whole box.
Yeah.
Just thunk.
yeah,
Here's my soldier.
turn it sideways, attack you.
Oh, it's an elemental. Whatever. Yeah.
Right. That's a goblin. No, we're done here. Take down the streamer shot. Bad enough. All right, at least it's red, and it is a 1/1, so good enough. It looks like the frog lizard's battling here.
Yes. Oh.
Hey!
Shahar's being very helpful here. I think overly accommodating.
I think he wants to play.
So get your frog lizard out of my face.
Yep, Mizium Mortars. There's a trigger. Is he going to do it? Yeah, he's going to just basically pay a blue mana on a card to keep his frog lizard and untap it. So perhaps a slip up there. It depends on if Colin was okay to try to trade his young Pyromancer for the Mutavault that's sitting back there. Frog Lizard was tapped, so he had a free lane for an attack potentially. It kind of depends on what he was thinking about that situation, though. There's a chance he didn't want to offer that trade, and so he just figured, well, we'll just do this now.
I don't know. Shahar wanted to go down to 2 lands.
Yeah. All right. Another Mizium Mortars is going to finally deal with that thing, and now.
Now you offer the Pyromancer for the.
God, I kind of feel like you do. I mean, he's already built up quite an army here. Yeah, Shahar's
there's no way Shahar
he
takes that trade.
cannot take that trade.
Especially because I think he's holding a Master of Waves, which he may just want to get down right now.
And it's important to remember how critical that is in this matchup, as there's not that many things that Colin has that can deal with it. It's like chain or nothing.
Chained or GTFO. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or Jace.
That's what it is. All right, Jace is very nice here. Makes those elemental tokens irrelevant as far as attackers, and reduces young Pyromancer into a pretty lame attacker too. So
looks like he does have Anger of the Gods in his hand.
okay. So Colin Miller all of a sudden has a lot of work to do. He can hit Jace for 2 this turn if he wants.
Yeah.
But that's just not an amazing turn for him. He really wants to play a Planeswalker or something.
Do.
Yeah. All right, Mutavault's active. Going to get a quick read on Jace Architect of Thought. God, I hope he knows what that does. Yeah.
Are there any exceptions? Perhaps some fine print?
All right, Jace drops to 3 loyalty, and Colin just has to pass the turn back. The good news for Colin is that he's not under any imminent pressure at the moment, but you got to feel like he's fallen behind here. So Shahar Shenhar has Master of Waves, Cyclonic Rift, and Night Veil Spectre in hand.
I figure he's going to play the Spectre this turn.
That's what I was thinking. He can still leave back a Mutavault activation. There it is. And he passes a turn back to Colin.
Yeah,
now Colin's thinking, and he's got a Last Breath here for Night Veil Spectre, so that's nice.
Okay.
At least he gets to use up all his mana from that turn and get himself another elemental.
Really attack.
No, he's still. Ooh, easy there, Shahar.
What did we see?
Well, he didn't quite show anything, so I think he got away with it, but it was the Rift. And Cyclonic Rift is a couple of mana away from being nasty. Undoing a lot of work from Colin's side of the board here. All right,
Oh,
Storm
hi.
Breath Dragon. Now he can actually kill Jace. No, he cannot. He still can't kill Jace because of Mutavault. So 3 to Jace brings him down to 1. And Shahar's going to get another turn of hiding behind Jace. There's a negate. But that's a nice one for Colin Miller there. Storm Breath Dragon can be quite a big issue for Shahar here.
Has to take it up.
Yep, no option. Negate Master of Waves and a Cyclonic Rift in hand for Shahar Shenhar. He plays nothing.
Right, he can bounce the dragon here in the middle of combat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, those Mutavaults that Shahar has deftly left available here mean that Colin is going to have, he just can't really battle on the ground here.
Colin's next best creatures are a 1/2 Mutavault and a 1/1 Pyromancer.
That's right, and you called it here, BDM. It is Cyclonic Rift to temporarily get the dragon out of the way, but
You
you
just
know,
play
you
it
could
now?
just, I would. I mean, I don't know what else he has in his hand, but I would be happy to get it right back on the battlefield. Yeah, that's what he does
Play
here.
land and then get a little monstrous action, maybe going next turn.
I would have played my Scryland first.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just going to use my Jace. What?
Whoa!
Hey, what?
I think we might have used our Jace already, Shahar.
No, it's on his next. It's on his turn.
I actually don't know what just happened there. It's Shahar's turn.
Maybe Shahar just decided, I don't know if I'm ready to do that.
If he paused for a bit and tried to read you.
Oh, did he say go?
They're talking about it, yeah.
Is it left the battle? It was still in my hand. Yeah. You may appeal the ruling if you feel it's. Feel you want to send an
F6
opinion?
through his
So,
turn?
no, so the ruling is, so Shahar took the dice off and started to put Jace in the graveyard and said that he didn't want to do that. And Colin said, well, didn't it kind of already leave play? And the ruling is, no, it hasn't happened yet. The table judge said, look, we can do an appeal if you'd like, and Colin said no. So,
All right, so Master of Waves comes down, which is all Shahar was looking to do, is get 2 extra pips for his Master of Waves.
that's right. He just was just going to do it in the. He knew he was going to do that this turn. He was just doing it in the wrong order, but was able to
Split 2
get
lands
a
and
little
Nightveil
undo there.
Spectre.
Yeah. And he passes the turn back with triple Mutavault on his side, which again all get pumped from Master of Waves as well. So even though Shahar isn't doing a lot of offensive work right now, he is threatening huge swings on the other side. He's got 17 power on his side if he activates all 3 Mutavaults.
Interestingly, Colin's at 17.
Indeed.
Not quite going to get through, though.
Indeed. So 6 mana Colin has, so he can't monstrous his Stormbreath Dragon yet.
Does he have a land in hand? No.
I don't know. But he's going to battle first. He's going to ship the whole team in there. Wow.
I like this.
Interestingly, is he
I like
forcing
it.
any blocks here? I mean, Shahar has one easy block with protection from red on a red creature.
Sure.
But Shahar actually has 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage. So if Colin doesn't come up with anything else, then Shahar can actually crack back for lethal here. So let's see what Colin has. All right, a Boros Reckoner. That'll put a nice stop to that plan. Oh, and Shahar actually did block with an Elemental as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Shahar's at 14.
He has a Nightveil Spectre in hand. He wouldn't mind casting. He really seems like he wants to cast that Nightveil Spectre. He's got his hands on the. There we go. Cast a Spectre. He gets to leave Negate up this time.
Excuse me, sorry. thinking about a Master Waves attack.
He considered it. I mean, it can get through. Kind of depends on if he wants to block the Boros Reckoner with it. He doesn't. So take 2, 15.
He's willing to just trade elemental tokens for elemental tokens.
Mm-hmm. Mutavault died last turn, which set Colin Miller back a land drop, so he's back down to 5.
Right. Did he just draw another Storm Breath Dragon? I think he did.
Wow, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, baby. He just has to make sure that he doesn't die to some crackback thing, but he's got all those elementals, which can really do it.
Well, 2 of them get eaten by Mutavaults.
I mean, the other direction.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so attack for 4 with Storm Breath Dragon. Looks like he has other plans for this turn.
Yeah, maybe the Storm Breath Dragon is just going to stay up and block.
It could.
Spectre.
Could. I think he also has a maybe a Chandra's Phoenix in his hand.
I think that's possible.
All right, Shahar takes 4, goes to 10. They are dancing here. There's no doubt about it.
Takes 7, right? The Boros Reckoner.
Oh, the Boros Reckoner too. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Goes down to 7. Interesting. He just says go. So we might not have a perfect idea what he has in his hand.
I know he has a Storm Breath Dragon.
Oh, he does have one for sure.
So he's looking to get, maybe he's looking for that Night Veil Spectre to attack, and he's just like,
he wants to bait him into
I'll finish
get
you
an
off
attack.
with both my Storm Breaths.
Yeah, no, I like that. There's Mutavault number 4 for Shahar Shenhar. He still has a negate in his hand. Also, you know, the other spell from Colin could be a burn spell, right? You could have Storm Breath burn spell and be going for a hit on that. All right, Mutavault active. It's a 3/3.
Mutavault active.
Another 3/3.
Mutavault active.
Another 3/3.
Negate
So that's
mana
17 power right now, but tons of elementals that can get in the way of the ground game here, so not a huge issue. Master of Waves is going to do whatever it wants. It has protection from all the creatures on Colin's side of the board. And Shahar is lining up his attack. It doesn't look like he can kill him this turn, so he's trying to figure out what the best way to try to get a kill next turn is, assuming that Colin doesn't have a Storm Breath Dragon in hand. And
so he's getting in with Master.
this is just awesome. Because he just can't put him on Storm Breath necessarily, right? I mean, he could have Storm Breath burn spells and like that.
But he's not going to attack with the Night Veil Spectre, so he's blocking one of them. But again, the Boros Reckoner is also a little bit of a wrinkle here.
Mm-hmm. A good point.
So Colin can just take this.
He can take 11 here.
The 2-stage attack.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still in the middle.
Could be a 3-stage attack.
It could be.
Like he has to keep committing attackers to get Colin to commit all his blockers.
I mean, interestingly, Colin, he's being attacked for 17 here, but I mean, he can just like chump block a Mutavault,
right,
and take 14 potentially.
He could also just block 2 of the tokens here.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You're right. So exactly lethal, but
that's what he does.
Yeah, he's going to chump block a bunch of stuff.
Okay, so
he's going to take 8. He blocked 1 Mutavault and the elementals. And it looks like Colin's going to be able to pick up game 2 here. Storm Breath Dragon into negate. That's not going to get it done. There's no more Mutavaults for Shahar Shenhar. Oh, he's got Chain to the Rocks. And that thing gets negated.
Oh, maybe he does not.
That must be Anger of the Gods, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is Anger of the Gods. Okay, that explains that. He's going to get to do 3 to take down the Night Veil Spectre. and get in for 4, and that'll do it. All right, so he found a way to do it, and it looks like our back table's already cleared off there. I don't know if we're going to move over anybody from our secondary table over, but let's take a look at how the future match is going.
There's anyone to move.
There it is not.
Neil Oliver loses 2-1 to Eugene Huang. William Huey Jensen.
I don't know if we've updated their records though, because does not make Neil Oliver 11-3 now.
It does.
So, and Eugene Huang is 12-2.
Correct.
So we'll keep that in mind here.
Huey gets the win. Alexander Hayne gets the win. So
he does.
It's
okay.
likely that Alexander Hayne will be going through. Almost seems certain that he'll be going through to the top 8. And we're still waiting to see who goes through. Colin Miller playing the big Boros stack, and Shahar Shenhar playing mono blue.
Shahar got a win in game 1, pretty convincing after he swung the tables back in his direction, but now things are not so clear as Colin was able to steal a victory there.
Yeah, and I thought that had been a Stormbreath Dragon in his hand, but as Anger of Gods, it was good enough.
Good enough in this case.
Gets to do an extra 3 off of the
Boros Reckoner.
Off the Boros Reckoner. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Boros Reckoner does 3 as a lightning bolt to the face, gets the blocker out of the way, and 4 more in the air from the Stormbreath Dragon would finish it.
Sad tweet from Seth Byrne, a longtime mono red player. He's like, do you remember when mono red decks weren't massive dogs to a blue deck?
You're not saying that's his nickname, right? That's his actual last name, right?
That's his actual last name.
Okay.
I mean,
this whole time I thought that was his actual last name.
Look, like sometimes, in like the Marvel universe of superheroes, he would grow up to be some sort of flame-wielding superhero. It's like Doctor Strange, the character Doctor Strange. No, Doctor Strange is both actually a doctor, and his last name is actually Strange.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Victor Stegron? What about Victor Stegron? Come on.
But Seth Byrne, in real life and in the fantasy world, is a
he loves mountains and tapping them and setting things on fire, and really likes beating blue decks.
All right. Well, we know who he's rooting for. I wonder who you're rooting for at home.
Yeah, tell us.
These are 2 different approaches to the format, though they both do try to beat down eventually.
I feel like while most of our fans usually root for the big names, I feel like there's almost been a little bit of a sea change here where people have been rooting for the underdogs with the oddball decks.
Yeah,
this
for
week,
sure.
Or the less dominant decks.
I got that feeling too.
A little bit of lash out against mono blue and mono black traditional decks.
For sure. All right. Speaking of mono blue, Cloudfin Raptor. Turn 1 play here for Shahar. Temple of Triumph for Colin Miller, ships a card to the bottom, and we have a follow-up Raptor for Shahar, but nothing else. Where's Forked Boat when you need it? Let's see what Colin Miller comes up with for this turn. Is it a Pyromancer? Yes, it is. Not an old one. Pass the turn back to Shahar, and it looks like he's going to maybe Tidebinder Mage here. What does he have? That is
Frostborn Weird.
A Frostborn Weird, okay. Frostborn Weird's a nice blocker for young Pyromancer. It means that he's not going to take any damage next turn at all. It's a nice attacker for the following turn.
Yeah, it's like the old thing where the older brother puts his hand on the younger brother's
running
head,
up against it.
He can't get his arms close enough to punch him.
That is exactly what it is.
It's really hard for young Pyromancer to make any kind of body contact on the Frostborn.
It is indeed.
Frostborn Weird's got to be one of my favorite cards from that last block.
You called it, man. You're the one that was like, oh, maybe we could play this with these devotion things, and then now everybody does.
I just love that card.
I was not a believer.
Probably my most drafted card.
Oh, yeah, I have a ton of those, too. That card is fantastic. All right. Temple of Triumph leaves a card on the top this time. Nope, back to the bottom. Still thinking about it. And I see a Last Breath in hand there for Colin. He can kill Frostburn Weird right now if he wants, get himself a token. Gets a little awkward running Last Breath in a deck running like 10 burn spells, but you do what you got to do. All right, so Luckily for Colin, there was no rapid hybridization there to pump up those raptors and leave him with a 3-3. Instead, Shahar's going to take a couple of damage, also gain a few damage, so nets 2 life on that turn, but Colin gets an elemental, gets to keep his pyromancer.
I think Shahar's been really impressed with the young pyromancer and might want to steal it for himself.
Oh, is it about that time? Domesticate it? No. Jace, +1.
Yeah.
17. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Lightning strike off the top for Colin Miller. He's in an awkward spot, though.
Yeah.
+1 Jace is quite good against his young pyromancer starts, and he can't even kill Jace this turn, so not without multiple burn spells. He also has to use his burn spells to manage Shahar Shenhar's board state while he can, because not only do you reduce the pressure and the blocking, you also reduce the devotion.
Okay,
here's Lightning Strike on Jace. Down to 2.
Did he miss a trigger here?
I think he may have. Shoot, it looks like he did. He could have 2 elementals here. And we're in that window where it's too late now. He missed them.
Missed both?
He missed both of them.
Oh my gosh.
That is going to make life significantly tougher for Colin, as getting rid of Jace, kind of the whole point of it is to turn your elementals into threats again. And he could have 5 power on his side of the board now. So he's only got 3. So let's see if he can recover from that. You know, there's also the chance that he said it and that the judge is digging up the elementals. That does happen occasionally, but I didn't hear it.
I didn't
see.
The judge had the elementals last round, so I think we're going to take the young pyromancer.
No, that judge is not digging for anything.
Yeah.
He's just paying close attention to the game.
He's just kind of averting his eyes. He's like, oh, geez, this is a little embarrassing.
And insult to injury here. Another Jace and a plus. So just a straight up 2-for-1 from the other Jace, and he just plays the second one again. And Colin, his heart just has to sink here. Temple of Triumph, Scrya Mutavault somewhere.
He's going to send that to the bottom.
He's got a ton of lands. You can't imagine that that's really what he wants here.
Yeah.
Mutavault's always
he's
nice.
holding Mizzium Mortars.
I think he is too. And the mana to cast it. Next turn he can overload it. And that could be very good for him. You know, if Shahar's turn is something like, you know, Nightveil Spectre or something like that, you know, you can get a 3-for-1 out of it.
Put a Boros Reckoner out here. Oh, no, Chandra's Phoenix.
Attack Jace, block. Well, that didn't work. And we're going to ship the turn back. All right. So let's see. I'm curious to see what Shahar has here. Domestication.
Yeah, Shahar's like, I want cards.
Yeah.
What can I have?
All right, well, there's a Spectre. This is, you know, Shahar could go Spectre and Frostburn Weird and just get absolutely wrecked here by Mizzium Mortars. I don't think Shahar will walk into it, but I mean, a boy can dream. Colin's.
Well, Shahar hasn't played a land.
True. All right, so maybe just a Spectre here.
It's also, yeah.
Okay, so he's going to take the 2-pile, giving him a Frostburn Weird in that island. Plays plays Tidebinder Mage, it looks like.
Yeah. He's going to lock something down.
Yeah, maybe keep that Phoenix, even though it didn't do anything last turn. He knows it could be a problem later.
Lock down the Phoenix.
And is he going to play the Frostburn
okay.
Weird?
He got his triggers.
Yeah, so these, yeah, he barely did. Still, yeah, he's going to get hit for 6, but if it is overloaded Mizzium Mortars, that kills everything here. And remember, Jace ticked down.
Right.
So Jace would die too.
Jason's
He could
turn.
take his entire board state off with an overloaded Mizzium Mortars here. And that's what that card is, right? So,
Yeah.
wow. I'll overload Mizium Mortars.
He's like, I will also remember to make an elemental
And
token.
he did do that. So kill, 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 and leave Jace open. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
that'll help get him right back in this game.
That was 5 for 1.
That was
And
insane.
it was 6 for 1 because you also got the token.
Yeah. Wow.
Domestication. He's going to take the Chandra's Phoenix.
But it's tapped still. So there's going to be an attack here, but the race is firmly in Shahar's favor currently. You got to figure he's got something else in his hand.
He does have a Magma Jet.
There was a Magma Jet for Colin?
No, yeah, Magma Jet for Colin.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's good. He can Magma Jet the Phoenix to get that that domestication off the board. And remember, he can get that Phoenix back at some point, too. I don't think he can
he might have
soon.
He might have 2 Magma
Okay,
Jets.
if he does have another, then he can. But having that Phoenix in his yard is just not the worst place for it to be.
Scry 2 cards.
Scry 2 is huge here, too. This is exactly the point where you want it. Wow. So Colin has just...
Playing for top 8.
Yes. Overloaded mortars for the 1,000 for 1. And you were right about Magma Jet, but he did remember the trigger, even though it doesn't resolve this time. Man, he could have a couple more of those things, too.
He could have 2.
I wonder if it's going to matter.
He's missing 2 elemental tokens.
Yeah, I mean, that's 4 damage already. So this is 6. There's a Chandra as well. And is he going to start drawing cards, or is he going to start pinging? It looks like he must have pinged.
I guess he panged.
He pinged? Yeah. I don't know what it is. Yes, so that's what he did.
6 lands and a Cyclonic Rift, and 2 Cyclonic Rifts.
Awkward. He needs to hit another land in order to really reset things for himself quite nicely here. Shahar doesn't have any other action, though. That's the problem. 2, 4, 6 damage here coming in again. And this is going to be a huge issue for Shahar, because Shahar's going to fall to 5 here. And remember, Chandra is also active. And now we're talking about a couple of burn spells, or maybe even just one if he left the War Leader's Helixes in, too. Draw a non-island. And I don't think Shahar's going to get out of this.
Wow.
That's it. Colin Miller found it. Found the victory through an overloaded Mizium Mortars to completely devastate Shahar Shenhar's board.